You know, your digital life has a playbook, whether you're the one who wrote it or not. So the real question is, who's calling the shots? Well, in the next few minutes, we're going to hand you the strategies to take back control and build your own defense. Let's dive in.
Okay, let's kick things off with a number that should really make you sit up and listen. 68%. According to Verizon's latest big report on data breaches, that's how many of them involve a human element. Now, that's not some fancy firewall failing. No, that's a person getting tricked, making a mistake, or just not paying attention. This one number, it's the key to understanding pretty much all of modern cybersecurity.
So that huge number, 68%, it really brings up a massive question, doesn't it? Are we, the people behind the keyboards, the weakest link in the whole security chain? Or could we actually become our own strongest shield? The answer, as we're about to see, is completely up to us.
All right, first up, the human element. And it really is a double-edged sword. On one hand, we can be the wide-open, unlocked door for an attacker. But on the other, with the right mindset, we can be the most sophisticated, most adaptable defense system out there. Let's take a look at why attackers zero in on us.
Here's the deal. Attackers go after people way more often than they go after complex systems. And why is that? Well, because hacking a person it's often way easier than hacking a machine. Attackers succeed because of our own inattention, our ignorance, or just simple, honest mistakes. They are literally counting on us to mess up.
So how do they actually do it? How do they bank on us making those mistakes? Well, let's move on and dissect their number one tool, phishing. We're going to look at the anatomy of a fish so you never, ever take the bait.
Okay, first things first. What even is phishing? Put simply, it's a cyber attack where scammers use disguised messages, emails, texts, sometimes even QR codes, as a weapon. And the goal is always the same, to trick you into giving up sensitive information, like your passwords or your bank details.
Now, this table is awesome because it breaks down exactly what these attacks look like in the wild. So, check out that first one, a fake single sign-on reset email. The whole goal is to steal your login. The lesson here, always check the sender's real email address and hover your mouse over that link to see where it's really taking you. Or look at the second one, an urgent payment request. The only way to be sure is to pick up the phone and call a number you already know is real. And this last one is so modern, a dodgy QR code. You've got to scrutinize those things before you scan them.
So how do these tricks work so well? It all boils down to one simple but incredibly powerful truth. Scammers manipulate your emotions. They create a sense of urgency or fear or maybe even greed, all to make you act before you think. They want to bypass your logical brain and get you to click on pure, raw impulse.
Okay, enough about the problem. Let's talk solutions. It's time to build our defense. This next section is your own personal defensive toolkit, and it's all built around a super simple but powerful framework we're calling the Core 4.
And here they are, the Core 4. These are the fundamental countermeasures you need to know. First, using strong passwords. Second, turning on multi-factor authentication. Third, keeping your software updated. And fourth, knowing how to recognize and report these scams. Let's break each one down.
Let's start with passwords. You know that old advice about changing them every 90 days? Yeah, forget about it. Modern security is all about two things, length and complexity. Today, every single password you have should be at least 16 characters long. Why? Because the software hackers use to guess passwords would take like centuries, maybe even millions of years to crack something that long.
And if you need a way to remember this, you're going to love this quote. Passwords are like underwear. You don't share them, you don't leave them lying around for people to see, and you change them when they get compromised. Now, the change them regularly part is a little old school, but the main idea of keeping them private and secure, absolutely perfect.
Next up, number 2, multi-factor authentication, or MFA. Just think of this as the digital deadbolt on your front door. Even if a thief somehow steals your password, your key, they still can't get in because they don't have that second piece of proof that it's actually you. It's a game changer.
But here's the thing you have to know. Not all MFA is created equal. This tier list is super helpful. Up at the top in the S tier, you've got the best of the best, biometrics like your fingerprint or dedicated authenticator apps. Then, way down in B tier are text messages and email codes. Now they're okay, but they're vulnerable to stuff like SIM swap attacks, where a scammer literally steals your phone number. The main takeaway is simple. Use the best MFA you possibly can, but any MFA is a million times better than no MFA at all.
All right, number 3, software updates. The easiest way to think about this is like fixing a crack in your armor. Updates are what patch the security flaws that criminals are actively trying to find and exploit. So the next time you see that little notification to update, don't ignore it. Restart your device right away. Just remember, a restart is smart.
And finally, our 4th point, recognizing and reporting scams. This all comes down to asking yourself a few critical questions whenever you get a weird message. Is it making you feel some kind of strong emotion? Is it totally unexpected? And is it asking you to do something right now? If the answer is yes, that's your alarm bell. Stop and scrutinize it.
Okay, so knowing these rules is one thing, right? But making them an instinct, that's the real goal. So in this next part, let's talk about how to build cyber muscle memory so we can turn all this knowledge into an automatic response.
And one of the coolest ways companies are doing this is through something called gamification. Now, this isn't just about making training fun. It's about taking ideas from video games like points, challenges, and leaderboards and applying them to education. It gets us emotionally involved and helps turn what we know into what we actually do.
And here's what that actually looks like. Companies are running their own phishing simulations to test employees. They're building interactive quizzes. They're even designing cybersecurity-themed escape rooms. I mean, how cool is that? The whole goal is to turn learning from something passive into an active, memorable experience.
So, as we start to wrap this all up, it really boils down to one core habit. This is your final and maybe your most important takeaway.
It's just 4 simple words. Think before you click. That single pause, that one moment of reflection before you act, that is your single most powerful defense. It's the moment where you put everything we've just talked about into practice. And that leaves us with one last question. For you, the next time that suspicious email or that weird text message hits your screen, what are you going to do? Because now you have the playbook.